All right, we're here with head coach Andrew Lord following a 4-3 overtime win over San Diego. Lordo, just walking in here, I could see the smile on your face. Pretty happy to get that one, huh?
Yeah, feels good to pull it out for sure. First period was solid, and then I think we took our foot off the gas. They really got their D involved. They were effective. Ports was solid. Our PK was really good, and just really feel good about the resiliency to win in OT. It was great.
Wasn't much special teams action, very different than last night, but your penalty kill, as you mentioned, came up big, especially there in the third period, about midway through, killed off about a minute of 5-on-3 play. How nice did it feel to kind of have that momentum after it?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, the character within the group. We got a lot of good PK guys. We have really good structure with Heider running that, and a couple of good block shots. I thought it changed the momentum a little bit. Obviously, they scored late to tie it up, but we did have a few good minutes after that for sure.
Glenn Gauding gets 2 goals in the first period. It had been a couple games since he scored. Nice to see him find the score sheet.
Huge, yeah. His line was great. Andre Lee, Guts, good to see him get 2. He was snake bitten for the third, obviously, the penalty shot, and then inside the post in overtime.
What was the kind of, not the message, but kind of the reaction after San Diego ties it with the extra attacker goal? Obviously, to force overtime didn't seem to really rattle you guys or phase you too much because you find a way to get it done in overtime.
Yeah, I think we're good in overtime. We got players for it. The guys know what they need to do, and they went out and did it. It was great. There was good composure and big goal.
Can you talk about the confidence you have in your rookies? At one point, it was a 4-on-4. You had 3 rookies out there. Can you just kind of point out what you like about them?
For sure, yeah. I mean, obviously Connors, Ryder, these guys give really good minutes. Zemer for sure, Husey. They all really care. They're bought in. They're great team guys. They know how to play on both sides of the puck. I think that gives us confidence in them. Kirsanov would come to mind as well for sure.
Now that you've gone to overtime 2 of your last 3 games, I guess it's a perfect time to ask you, as a coach, is 3-on-3 overtime, is that something you guys work on in practice a lot? I know it's the early goings here, but in your coaching history, is it something that you've worked on a lot, or is it one of those things where you're kind of going in a little bit blindfolded?
You definitely have a plan. You talk about it for sure. You work on it when you can. It's tough with all the games and the travel and the lack of practice time. The 5-on-5, the normal special teams takes the majority of your time. But yeah, for sure. I think we got guys that know that situation as well.
We asked you about Kyle Burrows making his debut on Tuesday night, and we just spoke with him. Just seems like a great dude, and he had a smile on his face the whole time we chatted with him. Now that you've seen him for 3 games, and to see him get rewarded with that goal in overtime, couldn't have happened to probably a better guy, could it?
It's a game changer, yeah. Culturally, in the room, he's speaking up a bunch already. This early on, obviously was a leader in the American League in previous, bunch of years ago. His poise with the puck, his defending, his intensity. He does so many things well. He's a great leader. You asked the earlier question about after the goal against there late. He was one of the guys up and down the bench, him and Hicksy, getting the guys going, calming them down. And, he's been great. And obviously his play in that goal was huge.
The home series with San Diego, first time you're experiencing it, a back-to-back. So a quick turnaround from a coaching standpoint and looking out in terms of making sure you're using guys the right way. Was there kind of a mindset of that? Do you think about that going into a game like tonight when you play 2 games in 2 nights?
It was an awkward one. Yesterday, obviously, so penalty filled. Our power play guys in particular, logged huge minutes last night. We did what we could tonight, to use everybody as much as we could. Obviously, there's some penalties late as well, which affects things. But, it's always tricky. I think it was a really, great brand of hockey for 2 nights. The 2 teams really compete hard against each other. It's a lot of fun out there. Glad we were able to pull this one out.
We asked Burrows about the overtime goal. He came off the bench, and I told him, I was like, it was almost like you were in camouflage because no one was around you really from the time you left the bench to when you entered the high slot. When you saw him get that puck in the high slot, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, it was good. I thought, there was a few good plays in overtime. Obviously, Gods had a good look, a few others, and I think it was only a matter of time. So it was good to see him put that one home.
Tonight was your first Saturday night 6 p.m. game this season. Marco Stern last year would always talk about how the crowd used to kind of give his guys a jolt. Did you feel that way tonight?
Absolutely, yeah. Tonight was extra special, obviously for the biggest reason of the cancer night. It was awesome. From having Joshua in the room before reading the starting lineup, to the energy on the ice, to the anthem, to God Bless America. The arena was pretty full. It was a great night. You could 100% feel the electricity.
Your thoughts on Jacob Dvorak playing on the top pair tonight?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we try to level out all three pairs with Millsy, Hicks, and Burrows on one of the or all three pairs there, and yeah, I mean, all the guys contributed tonight. He had a good effort.
What can you take away from these two games going into Calgary?
Loved yesterday, 5-on-5. Tonight, really enjoyed the first period. I thought after that, we took our foot off the gas a bit. They played a little better too, and I thought the PK was really good tonight. I thought on the whole, to get the job done is really good.
I know you're supposed to kind of protect your guys, but Angus Booth comes back. He plays a couple games, and now he's been out for 4 straight. Is he okay, or is he re-aggravated something?
He's going to be back real soon. He's day-to-day probably at this point, which is great news. So he's chipping away at things, and yeah, it can be tricky sometimes when you're coming back from injury.